Oh, hi guys. Today we're getting cozy. Okay, so welcome back. It's been a hot second. Apologies. But today, I guess apologies also for how long it's been, but apologies also for how my voice sounds. I don't know. But okay, welcome back. This is episode number something, I don't know. And today we're going to kind of get into it a little bit. Norman's over here playing with his toys, so apologies if you hear a little racket. Also, check out the new mic. We are corded. We're getting a little bit more official here. I don't know, but it's fun. Okay. So this last weekend was Valentine's Day weekend, and let's just get into it, first off, let me just start by saying Valentine's Day is my favorite holiday, like hands down. Like I live for Valentine's Day. Growing up, my family did lots of homemade Valentines. My dad always got us chocolates. My mom was always super crafty, and Valentine's Day was just always like so special for me as a kid, and I think that just kind of like stuck around. And so every year I really like to make my own Valentines. I like to give Valentines to my friends, my family, because I just love a day that is just like so cutesy and so fun. And like, who doesn't love love, you know what I mean? And whether I'm with someone, whether I'm not with somebody, it's my favorite regardless. So Valentine's Day for me is my Super Bowl. It is my everything. And this year I went and spent it with my best friends and who live out of state. So it was so special for me to be able to spend it with them and just kind of have a girls' weekend. And I will say, based on some events that had happened this weekend, I will say that I had like a huge kind of epiphany, like a huge realization in my life that I just really wanted to dissect and discuss, because I don't know, Valentine's Day is always like, it can be kind of tough for some people. And while I'll say that Valentine's Day is my favorite and I love it so much, I also understand the crash out that can happen when you don't have somebody, and the alone feeling that can kind of cloud the whole day. And I will say that it did happen to me a little bit this year, but it's still my favorite. And I had a major crash out, and I like woke up with like the biggest, puffiest eyes you've ever seen, just from crying and everything. But Valentine's Day is still my favorite. And I think not only was I crying because of like sad things and sad situations that had happened, I also was crying because I had this massive realization that recently I have not been like guarded or filtered or anything. Like, I have been living my life very open, wearing my heart completely on my sleeve, and being very vulnerable with every person I meet. And that is something that is so unique to my personality, and something that is just has never been a normal thing for me to do. And what I mean by that is like, I mean, okay, so like meeting somebody new, I'm realizing that I have just become an even more like trusting person, and I see the best in everybody, and it is really hard for me to not connect with somebody, or not, like, I don't know, like, I just feel like this new year has been so much about not only self-love, I felt like 2025 was definitely my year for like finding a new version of self-love, but 2026 is like my year for finding a different kind of love for others. And it has been such a blessing, but also such a curse, because I've realized that I have definitely almost overconnected with people. And if that's even a thing or a word, I don't know. I've overshared for sure. That's been me to a T. Over romanticized things and things like that. And I really had to kind of take a step back and ask myself, like, what is the purpose of that and why? Because although I have so many people in my life who are so amazing and I love them so much and I would do anything for them, there are also people in my life that may not deserve complete openness from me, even though I want to give it. And I think that maybe is going to be my lesson for this new year, is just learning boundaries, because I'm realizing that my heart is so big and I want to love so hard. And I want to love so many people, not necessarily like romantically by any means. I mean, like I just feel this desperate call to, I don't know, add some light to somebody's life. Like that has been my prayer all year so far, is just I want to replicate the love that God has for all of us, and I want to be a vessel, and I want to be a positive thing in everybody's life. And I think that has kind of led me to be super vulnerable, and to where I'm okay with literally talking about any aspect of my life with any person, because whether it's a good thing about my life or a bad thing about my life, if it helps somebody else, if it gives hope, if it is inspiring, if it is like, oh my gosh, I would never do that, and helps them redirect the path that they're on, like that to me is like, I love that, because all of the people that I look up to and the people that I meet and I'm like, oh, I want to be like them, are super open and they're personable and they're just full of light and love and positivity, and I want to be one of those people, And I think that it's kind of funny, because I tend to have a very more like, not necessarily dark, but just a more reserved, glass half empty type of personality naturally. And I think that it's kind of come as, that's why it's been such a shock, is because like that's normally how I am and that's how I've looked at things in the past. And now that is not how I go about anything these days. And it's like kind of a whirlwind for me. And I've really had to do some meditating and lots of thinking on it. And I'm an overthinker in general, so it's just been a little bit wild. But I came to the like simple version of this whole super long story, is that my realization that I had is that being vulnerable is easier. Like being open and being not filtered and not guarded is easier. And I wish I could go and tell my 16-year-old self that, because I don't know. And okay, let me kind of explain that a little bit, because how I've noticed this is like, okay, going through some like really hard times emotionally, like I would rather be the person, okay, like for example, in a breakup, like I would much rather be the person that overloved and overgave and, just loved someone so much outwardly and showed that so much more than the other person, and then have that relationship and be that person that goes through all the stages of grief through that breakup and is loud about it. And I'm not talking like obnoxious, there's definitely a line, but being open about all the feelings and emotions that are being felt in that time. I'd rather be that person than the nonchalant individual who is just like, oh yeah, I don't care, I don't, doesn't affect me, doesn't matter. Because I think a lot of people, and including myself, I used to be like that, of like, I want to be so nonchalant and so like, I don't want to show that I care, because showing you care might mean that you're weak, and it might show your weakness to others, while showing that, even if you have to fake it, pretending that you don't care about something, like that makes you seem super tough, and that makes you seem strong. And what I'm realizing is being vulnerable, being open, being okay with showing that you are sad, that you are upset, that you're hurt, disappointed, showing all of that, and like just showing that you do care actually speaks more volumes than anything. And I would much rather be that person, because I think that all emotions are good to have and feel, whether it's, happy emotions or super bad ones. Like, how do you know you're happy if you haven't been sad before? And I think, and I guess like maybe this is getting super, super deep, but I just, I was just kind of put in a situation this weekend where I just really felt like I could either take two paths. I could either pretend like I don't care, and I could be nonchalant, and things could just keep on flowing, or I care, and I show that I care. And if anybody who knows me even just a little bit, they know that I care. I always care. I care so much. And I think that I like, genuinely, I love that about myself. I love that I want to love people so much, and I want to care for people so deeply. I love that about myself, and I know that like I cannot wait to be a wife and a mom, because I know like I'm just going to have those people in my immediate family that I just get to pour everything into. And I think right now that's my struggle, is like I have just that desire to really pour all of my love onto people. And I think that I've been finding that I've been wanting to give that to people who don't necessarily deserve that. And I hate the word deserve. I genuinely hate the word deserve. But I think that my biggest lesson right now is just that I need to be aware that with every inclination that I have to care deeply about somebody, or want to, just show them all of the love that I have, I have to protect that at the same time. Whereas like I didn't really understand that concept. I just thought like, if I love you, and I'm going to show you that I love you. But now I think that, and maybe that's kind of the headspace I needed to be in at that time, but right now I need to understand that you can love someone so deeply and care about them and want only the best things for them, and pray for them every day, and still not outwardly show it, And I think that that's my lesson. But I will, but also, to kind of play devil's advocate of that, on that though, is like, I know that like it's a big deal for people to say I love you to somebody else, and I understand that, and I do kind of love that, that like some like people are genuinely like, I don't know, that like we see it as such an intense thing to admit to somebody or say to somebody that's not a family member, because it is a big deal, and it should be revered. I don't know. It is a big deal, and it should be, seen it as that, because it means a lot. But also, to love someone is to want the best for them. To love someone is a choice. It's not necessarily something you feel. I mean, love is something that can be broken down into many different things, but ultimately it's a choice. It's not necessarily a feeling. And I'm sorry, but I would rather be the person that crashes out and admits that they love you than someone who just will do all of the things that reflect that, but pretend like they don't care, because I definitely did that. Like, I crashed out and I told somebody that I loved them and I was in love with them, and you know what? And some people might think that that's embarrassing, or might think that I woke up and was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I told them that. No remorse here, no regret, because I do. Sue me. LOL. And I think that, like, that's gonna be my new thing. Like, if I love you, I'm sorry, but I'm telling you. And, like, yes, it is a big deal. Saying I love you is a big deal. And I think that that's great. I think that's, like, supposed to be how we look at it, but I'm just not gonna not say it because it's a big deal. Like, no, I'm sorry, if I care about you and I do genuinely want the best for you, I'm telling you I love you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. Also, let's just do a little recap on life, since it has been a hot second since I've done a video, an episode, whatever. Honestly, nothing drastic has happened in my life, and I think that that's why I haven't done a video in so long, because I really haven't had anything to talk about. But there were some things that happened this weekend that actually I do want to rant about. They are very minuscule, and it's kind of, this is going to take a whole fat 180, because I just need to talk about it. Okay. Rant number 1. I had to go on a mini road trip to see my besties this weekend, and so I had to deal with some drivers on the road. And yes, I know, just another road rage rant, but no, I'm sorry. If you are the kind of person that is driving on the right lane, in the right lane, and a semi truck feels the need to pass you, you are the problem, and natural selection is coming for you. That's all I have to say. Okay? I can't. With whoever drives that slow on the interstate, God help you, genuinely. Also, to tag onto that whole trend of driving, if you are the kind of person that parks next to somebody way in the back of a parking lot when they are the only vehicle there, and you decide to park right next to them even though there are hundreds of open parking spots, you are the problem, and natural selection is coming for you. Okay. Got that off my chest. Also, let's talk about Valentine's Day is my favorite, but let's talk about some of the icks that I have. Let me talk about some of the icks that I have, okay? Especially relationship wise, right? And maybe I'm just a little biased because I was feeling a little bit alone this Valentine's Day, but I don't care. Hot take, actually this isn't a hot take, I think everybody knows this by this point, but if you are in a relationship and you post a super sappy, like, long novel of an Instagram caption, you are struggling in your relationship and you probably need to seek help. Like, I'm worried for you and your relationship. But I also have questions and I want to know the tea. So, okay. Also, what was my other ick? Valentine's Day ick. Honestly, I really don't have many because I just love and I am super happy for people who are in relationships, and I'm one of the few people who actually genuinely enjoy clicking through people's stories and seeing people's posts. One, because I love and I love seeing people in love. I love seeing people happy. That makes my day. But also, two, I love to keep up with current events, I'll call it, and see who's still with so-and-so, who has a different so-and-so, who doesn't have a so-and-so anymore. I'm very nosy. So, big form of entertainment for me, for sure. But, ooh, and my mug is even on theme. Guys, I didn't even plan it. I didn't even plan this. This is my favorite mug, though. My favorite mug. It was given to me by my friend Kat. Shout out to Kat. Cheers. Norman, would you like to say hello? Oh, he gave it a lick. That's it. But yeah, it will. And I say I wasn't alone this Valentine's Day. I had my Norman. My Norman was my Valentine this year. And last year. Right, Norm? You're my forever Valentine. You want to come up here? Come hang out? Guys, my voice is so bad. It's so bad and it's getting worse. But also just shout out to my besties too, because I had some really sad moments this weekend and they were really there for me and they loved me and I felt so loved and I felt so seen and I felt they made the weekend so fun. And I just, some people are like, you meet them and they're cool and they're your friends and it's fun. But some people in your life are your family and they're not related to you at all, but they're your family. And I will tell you, those girls are my family, and home is wherever they are, genuinely, because I know that they love me so much and I love them so much and blah, 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 blah. I'd never tell them. Actually, I do tell them, but I'd never tell them because that's sappy and we don't tell each other that. We just know it, We don't even really hug each other. Real best friends don't really hug each other or tell each other how they feel about each other. They just know, It's like a sister bond, sister thing maybe. I don't know, because I don't really tell my sisters I love them or anything. Well, I do. But not in a sappy way. We're not like that. But okay, I'm just gonna end it there. I know this video was not as like fun or funny, but I really had that that realization this weekend and I just kind of wanted to chat about it. So if it resonated with anybody, please let me know. If it didn't, that's fine too. It's a win-win for me because I got to yap about it. So, yeah. But, okay. I'll end it there. I do plan on making more videos. I think that's going to be my focus now. Something that I do want to do more of. So if there's anything specific you want to hear me rant about or talk about or... yeah, I don't know. Let me know. But, okay. As always, thanks for listening. I do genuinely love you so, so big. And until next time.